thank you so much, Mr. Guru Prasad Biswal, CEO of Aerospace Division Bharat Forge, to give your special time to us at Aero India 2025. And we would really like to know about the Bharat Forge Aerospace Division and how you are planning to grow it further.
See, as an aerospace, we are very new as a part of the entire Kalyani group at Bharat Forge. We are here for the last 10 years. But when we started devising the roadmap on where we want to be, so this was largely in terms of with our core capabilities. The second was what the country do not have a capability as of then. And third, of course, was to get into products. So when we look at these three questions to be answered, we wanted to manufacture parts for the global OEMs like Rolls-Royce, Safran, Honeywell, even Boeing, Airbus. There's one part of the business. The second was can we develop the transmission systems for helicopters, for the aircrafts, and also the undercarriage, the landing gears for both the rotary wing and the fixed wing, because these capabilities even as of today do not exist in the country. We have large part of our indigenous programs, but we have mostly foreign collaborations into these areas. So, and all these three areas were in our core capability, because we make automotive gears, we make automatic transmission systems, we make hydraulics. So we have understanding of hydraulics, so undercarriage which requires hydraulics. So we worked on different aspects of this and tried to collaborate with OEMs in getting these parts developed for them. So presently as we sit, we have developed the landing gears, commercial landing gears for the Airbus programs, and we supply them 100% from our Pune facility. We have Liebherr Aerospace, which is our collaborator, with whom we are extensively working to not only design the undercarriage system, but entirely manufacture and test it. So when we got into the commercial aerospace, so this became a natural thing that we would be involved in the defense aerospace for the programs like AMCA. This was on the subsystems, but we had our ambitions to make small gas turbines in the country, and these gas turbines can range up to 500 kg thrust to 1200 kg thrust. So we put up a team in Bangalore which were extensively on designing of gas turbines, and today we are releasing the two gas turbines, the 40 kg and 45 kg thrust of engines, which will be extensively used for the loitering ammunitions, the UAVs and drones. So this growth from nothing to where we are now has been possible because of we have a good team to work with, and Pune has not been an ecosystem for aerospace, but our strength has been on people. So we have developed that capability, we have developed the team to take care of it. Even though we work within the automotive facility, our entire aerospace facility is having a completely different DNA and a niche. We are entirely digital, and we are driving a lot of innovations within the company.
So sir, as you said, I mean, more or less you have covered all the segments of aerospace industry that Bharat Forge is working on. So is there any specific side that you feel that Bharat Forge has to move more, have to give more push to?
See, there is no limit on where does this aerospace end. So if you look at the conflict that happened between Russia and Ukraine, the entire scenario of war has changed, right?
Yes,
so
drones and UAVs.
Exactly. So a lot of the small unmanned aircrafts have started into, and this is what our next step is. We are always on to that, but I think it's too premature for us to comment on the maturity of those programs. But yes, we have a defined roadmap where we are moving on to.
Right. So till now we see that Bharat Forge has been a component company. You have been displaying here also as a component. How do you see Bharat Forge turning to a product company?
See, if you see, Bharat Forge is a product company. Of course, when you look at
I mean a full-fledged
components, yes. If you look at components, okay, we don't venture into the OEM space. We don't make cars.
Yeah.
But we make the transmission system for them. Okay, so we make parts also. So there has been a graduation from making components to the subsystems. Now, we don't want to make aircrafts tomorrow for the country. We don't want to make helicopters. But yes, we want to make the subsystems, critical subsystems or modules that goes into them. And you would see that happening. So if you look at our defense programs or artillery guns, it's not a component. If you look at the engine that we are saying, it's not a component. So it's a system of systems. And
Why is it like you don't want to get to
It's a transition.
Make a complete drone or something like that?
see, I think, yeah, drones, yes, but everything has a journey, right? So I think our core DNA has been on, the DNA of the company has been on materials, on the metals, the strength of it. So and we are focusing on that.
Okay. Now coming to something that is in heart of Bharat Forge, Baba Kalyani's vision. So if we talk about his vision of
Yeah, I think-
space here,
Yeah, I
how
think.
you are planning to take it ahead and fortify the whole thing.
So I think I cannot comprehend in totality a person like Mr. Baba Kalyani. It's very difficult me to put in any words or any paragraphs, right? So I was working for HAL, and I think the only reason I came out of a government company like HAL, who is the aerospace major, and came to Bharat Forge to start this, is actually I believed in the vision of Mr. Kalyani. He thinks beyond than what we think. He challenges you to achieve the impossible, and I think that's the kick that we get to really go ahead in this thing. And I am sure we are a lot of things to do in aerospace, and I'm sure with his guidance and vision we'll be able to do that.
Thank you so much, sir. Thanks for your time. Wanted to know more on this, of course. And since you were telling us like how Bharat Forge, actually the aerospace division started, we would really appreciate if you can just trace that journey, because it was very interesting when we started off.
Yeah, so I
talking
think
about it.
so 2007 2008 is when there was a discussion on collaboration between Pratt & Whitney, Bharat Forge and HAL, and this was largely to set up the largest forging press in this part of the world to take up heavy forgings, because even as we speak today, all the heavy forgings for all the engines, largely engines or aircraft, are imported. They are not made in the country because the country do not have that forging equipment with that kind of tonnage to have the force to really get these parts made. But in fact, the Lehman Brothers 2008, Pratt & Whitney lost the order. Then of course when Pratt & Whitney lost the order, HL backed out, and the project was in doldrums, and in fact we had almost ordered the equipment and everything was in place. So the project was closed. But by that time, with a lot of things that the team had worked on, aerospace, understanding the market, the customers, so Mr. Kalyani decided to keep it alive, and there was a lot of discussions with the customers, what kind of parts to do, how do we make a team, what kind of products we should do. So a lot of understanding the markets. Everything was happening for almost 3-4 years. So in 2013 and 2014, so we started with components. We did a lot of components for Safran, for Boeing, for Honeywell, but a lot of them, they said you are too early to really talk to, because we were entirely automotive, so we didn't have any experience on titanium, nickel alloys that goes for aerospace. But few people believed on us and they said, okay, let's start. And I think
Who were those few people?
so those were Rolls-Royce and Boeing.
Okay.
And we were very glad because we wanted to be on engines. So Rolls-Royce came with us, and we wanted to be in the aircraft, so Boeing was with us. So we started making the components. We used to use shared resources within the company, few people to man this, but all these things gave us a firm conviction that this business has to be entirely different than to your automotive in terms of your quality systems, your traceability. I always say that in aerospace there is nothing called Six Sigma. It's only zero defect. Like Six Sigma is, you will always have a defect, right?
Yeah.
So you can't park a vehicle in the sky when you are actually flying at 40,000 feet. So there is no room for any error.
Exactly. There's no room for
So and when you are trying to do components for commercial aircrafts, your responsibility maybe becomes 100 times.
because there are more lives at stake.
Correct. So putting the team in place, getting the system error-proof was the focus. So we were not worried about how many customers we were trying to do. We were not worried about what kind of revenue we were trying to build. It was only to get that strong team of professionals, hardcore. I tell them hardcore criminals, not professionals, who want to do every crime to make this aerospace successful. And that is how we built this team. Yeah, then the COVID came, but I think we are growing almost 200 times each year in the last 3 years. And the present geopolitical situations, the China plus one, is actually helping us. But the value that we add, you said, okay, why do you want to make components? The value we actually add is, whomsoever make components in India, they always import the raw material. So we wanted to give an entire value chain proposition to the customer. We say that we will make our own raw material. So Kalyanis, we make our own raw material, like steel. We make our own steel. So a lot of the landing gear part that you see here is made from our own steel. So we make the raw material, do the forgings, do the machining, take it to the next level of sub-assemblies, and somewhere in terms of the entire system. So that's the growth roadmap that we intend to do.
So having your own raw materials, it helps you.
It does. Look, see. So if you look at, Bharat Forge has got its own steel making units called Kalyani Steels and Sarloha, right? So
it gives you an edge.
They
from
did
other
not.
companies that you can produce.
So
it's easier
so
for them.
it allows you to remain competitive in the market. You are not, your pricing doesn't change because of fluctuations in the raw material prices. So the steel making was a backward integration of Bharat Forge when they started in automotive. So the same thing we are trying to do for aerospace. We took up the forgings, but then we are backward integrating on qualifying the raw material for the aerospace. So we have a raw material that is supplied to Collins Aerostructures, to GE, to HAL, so to Liebherr. So we have few customers onto this, and a lot of other customers are actually working with us on the raw material, because when the Russia and the Europe, having really getting disrupted, raw material has become a challenge now.
That was, that's why Asia
Yes.
is facing problems right now.
Yes.
Thank you so much, sir. It has
Thank
been
you,
very
ma'am.
insightful to know about the aerospace journey of Bharat Forge, and we really look forward to a better future.
Thank you, ma'am.